Okay, it's 7 o'clock, and we'll call the Barron County Board of Supervisors for Monday, August 21st, 2023 into order, and have roll call. Well, roll call, we just hit present. Okay, we got 28 present with 1 absent, that being Stan Buchanan. Public notification.
Wendy Coleman, my executive assistant, has complied with Wisconsin open meeting requirements. Meeting agendas have been posted on electronic meeting notice boards located on the first and second floor of the Government Center, on the first floor of the Justice Center. A hard copy of the meeting agenda has been posted in the county clerk's office. She has verified the proper posting of this meeting. This is the Barron County Board of Supervisors meeting for August 21st, and this agenda was posted August 15th at 3:15 p.m.
And this is Jeff's inaugural invocation.
Please rise. Join me in prayer if you'd be so inclined. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time that we can gather and represent our citizens. Lord, I thank you for each supervisor, for their gifts. I pray that we'd use our gifts wisely this evening. Help us to make wise decisions. Help us to love you. I thank you for Barron County and that I can call it home. And by the grace of God, I live in a wonderful place. We ask you'd bless our time together in Jesus' precious and holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are you reading your special matters?
We have one special matter for the people that are on the Aging ADRC kitchen. I put out agendas for the special meeting tomorrow. You are very aware that we needed to discuss the floor. We got the bids back today for the floor, or the floating of the floor. They're getting the information together for us overnight, but we do need to meet at 4 o'clock tomorrow. They'd like the decision tomorrow to proceed. This would come out of the contingency, but the committee will talk about that tomorrow. So you that are on that committee, please come, and if you can't, let us know so we can get an alternate or something, because we need a vote tomorrow to proceed. That's all that I have.
Okay, and just to echo that, when you can't attend a committee meeting, it would be good if you told Jeff or Wendy or someone that you won't be there. And Kathy, she had something in special matter as well?
Yes. Thanks for the opportunity. I just would like to extend an invitation to the county board to come to the 17th Annual Bluegrass Festival at the Pioneer Village Museum. It's on September 8th, 9th, and 10th. And we have top-notch entertainment, Grand Ole Opry stars, and awards, SPIGMA awards bands, so it's top-notch. And it's the best deal in the county. It's $20 for Saturday, $15 for Sunday. So I hope I get to see somebody there. Thanks for the opportunity to speak.
You bet, thank you. Item number 4, approve the agenda. Could I get a motion for that? Bob, did you want to say something? I saw your name up there.
And I'm selling beer there. Come on out.
Oh, you're selling it, or is it free? Okay, we got a motion by Supervisor Banks and a second by Supervisor Cook to approve the agenda. Is there any concerns or questions with that? Seeing none, let's vote. Okay, that passed, 28 yes and 1 absent. Okay, we'll move on to item number 5, approve the minutes of July 17th, 2023. Motion by Supervisor Bob Anderson and seconded by Supervisor Gores. Does anybody have any concerns or questions with the minutes? Not, then let's vote. In that passed, 28 yes, 1 absent. Thank you. Public comment? We do not have any. Item number 7, West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning. Scott Allen, who is our new executive director, will tell us what's going on.
Thank you, Chair Oki and members of the Barron County Board of Supervisors. Appreciate the opportunity to present to you an update from your Regional Planning Commission here this evening. With me is Amanda Veith, our new lending specialist with the Regional Business Fund. So I'll be starting things off, and Amanda will be taking over from there as well. So I do like to mention to Amanda that I am not the newest employee with Regional Planning. I was there a week before she started. So we are your two newest employees with the Regional Planning Commission. So thank you again for the opportunity here. Just a little background on what Regional Planning Commissions are about. The Regional Planning Commission here is West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. It was created by state statute along with all the others in 1971, so over 50 years ago already. We've been around serving the region. We focus on these primary topics in terms of community planning, demographics, economic development, grants, mapping, natural resources planning, public administration, and transportation. There are 9 regional planning commissions in the state of Wisconsin. We're listed here as number 9 simply because of the alphabet. But we are, as you can see, they're kind of the bronze or gold colored region, 7-county region there in naturally the west central part of the state. To aim this better. Specifically for West Central Regional Planning, we're governed by a 21-member commission, again with 7 counties as members. Appointments are made by the county board, so there are 3 per county. That's how that math works. There's also an executive committee that consists of 1 appointment per county, so there's 7 members of the executive committee, and your chair here of County Board of Supervisors is also the chair of the executive committee. And because of that, by default, was chair of the Regional Planning Commission as well. So we're pleased to have Louis Oki as our representative, chairing both the commission and the executive committee. With that, jump ahead here. Bad at aiming this thing. There we go. Again, 3 commissioners per county. So for Barron County, 3 supervisors were appointed there. Supervisor Buchanan, who I hope it was not absent because of our presentation, but
He's on vacation.
okay, fair enough. But obviously well-versed in what we do. So, and then also Chair Oki and then Supervisor Taxdahl as well. So thank you for your service to the commission these years as well. You can see there too the others who are appointed as commissioners from each of the other counties. A kind of asterisk there, as you see, are those that are identified as being serving on the executive committee as well. So you can see there as well, just to kind of list off the counties as you look at it there, kind of geographically west to east. We have Polk County, St. Croix, Barron, Dunn, Chippewa, Eau Claire, and Clark County. So we span from Hudson and Osceola all the way over to Abbotsford and Colby. There are 15 staff members now serving the Regional Planning Commission. There were 14 last year, so we've actually added an additional senior planner this year. So actually we have several new staff members due to some retirements, again, myself included, taking over back in May for a long-serving and incomparable Lynn Nelson. So you may know Lynn from her years of service as executive director and also before that as a planner for the Regional Planning Commission. But again, here it kind of lays out our organizational chart with, of course, the full commission and executive committee kind of steering everything. Then me as the new executive director. And then we have 2 staff persons, office manager and a financial manager. And then 3 that serve with the Regional Business Fund. I'll allow Amanda to talk a little bit more about that here shortly. And the remainder are primarily planners serving the commission that way. In terms of kind of what is the overall kind of goal of regional planning for West Central Regional Planning, we assist units of government in planning for the physical, social, and economic development needs of the region. We do this in 3 ways. We serve as a coordinating organization primarily between, again, federal and state agencies and the local governments they serve, including, again, counties, but also towns, villages, and cities. We assist those units of government in working on issues that occur at a regional level, and we provide technical assistance, advice, and services directly to individual units of government. And I'd like to emphasize that we're not regulatory in nature. We simply provide those planning services to help those communities provide for their residents in that planning capacity. In terms of specific services, I'll kind of walk through these hopefully fairly briskly. The regional planning services can be summarized under 4 general areas: economic development, transportation, community development, and conservation and mapping. More specifically, under each of those, we have, again, the largest being that kind of community development kind of umbrella. Some of those things that we've been doing the most work in lately have been some grant writing and administration in that list there, hazard mitigation planning, and outdoor recreation plans. Those are some of the more prevalent ones we've been working on for communities lately. We also work on conservation and mapping, lake management plans, sustainability planning, and a lot of mapping online, but also for each individual community as well. Economic development, transportation are the other 2 kind of pillars. Some of those, again, just to highlight real briefly: county economic and population profiles. They're in your folder that was at your seat. On the left side is information about the Regional Planning Commission specifically, and on the back of that, on the left side, is the economic profile for 2023 for Barron County. So those are some of the things that we provide kind of data and information regularly. Transportation is another one. I'll talk a little bit more about safe routes to school plans. We have a staff person dedicated solely to that, along with pedestrian bicycle facilities planning, and also highway, rail, and airport planning. So there's some things too that we work on. And I'll close with this pretty full slide. And again, happy to provide this slideshow as well if you'd like. And in terms of that kind of checklist, I have some check marks there just to kind of talk through real briefly. These are some of the things that we worked on more specific to Barron County last year and kind of the first half of this year. So I want to kind of highlight kind of the last 18 months or so what we've been assisting Barron County with and the communities here in the county. In coordination with Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, WEDC, we provided administration of Main Street Bounce Back program. Those were $10,000 grants that were awarded to 860 organizations in the region, so $8.6 million. That included 131 organizations or businesses in Barron County that totaled $1.3 million. We also staff the Stormwater Outreach Coordinator position. That's one of our planners, fills that role for Rain to Rivers of Western Wisconsin. The Barron County member that is participating in Rain to Rivers is the city of Rice Lake. Welcome additional members to that if you'd like. For example, we're hosting a workshop this Thursday with Wisconsin Saltwise organization talking about winter when we're at the same day we have a heat advisory, but that's what we do in Wisconsin. We always have to plan ahead for winter and what's going to happen in winter, and just the idea there's helping private companies that do parking lot cleaning and such during the winter, how they can be more salt efficient and such to protect waterways in western Wisconsin. We also participate in the West Central Wisconsin Rail Coalition, which kind of touches all the 7 counties. That's supporting future passenger rail service to the region. Again, these are some kind of the support and administrative functions that we participate in. For example, with Public Service Commission, we provide administration outreach to region's broadband implementation group. We have some work ongoing currently. There's some new federal dollars coming down through the state, and we're just, again, providing some of that discussion opportunity in the region. Again, as I mentioned, prepare those economic profiles, and more specific projects and plans that we're working on. We're completing an updated Barron County Hazard Mitigation Plan. We're completing safe routes to school plans, both for Turtle Lake, currently being finished up here this fall, and starting one for Rice Lake schools in late next year. We're also just completed the City of Barron Outdoor Recreation Plan. That's before They're kind of going through their adoption process as we speak, and hopefully it'll be adopted through their processes next month. We are also assisted the Village of Elmina with a FEMA grant application to construct a community safe room. That's in the hopper as it is, and waiting to hear if they've been selected for that grant application. And some other things too that we're just getting started. We're starting a Barron County Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan, so focusing in on those types of infrastructure kind of modes throughout the county. And then also preparing a Barron County crash report, which sounds disconcerting a little bit, but it's something that we just started doing the last year or two. We did one for Eau Claire County and for St. Croix County, and just kind of aggregating data in terms of crash data throughout each of those counties, emphasizing things such as pedestrian impacts and other information just to help all the different communities do some planning for kind of road improvements, and again, connecting back to a lot of these other plans and programs as well. So with that, Amanda and I were just talking about how we're approaching our first 100 days in our positions. And so the first 100 days have been busy, but get a lot of good staff around us as well, and support from you as a member county, helping us accomplish these achievements here that you see in this list. So with that, I will turn it over to Amanda to talk about the Regional Business Fund. Yep.
All right, as Scott said, I'm Amanda Veith, the newest lending specialist for the West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. Not for long, though. But my time is devoted to working on the contract that the Regional Business Fund has with the Regional Planning Commission. So the Regional Business Fund, or RBF, is a nonprofit that was created by the West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission to administer business revolving loan funds. There is a 9-member board of directors, and the nonprofit is staffed by the West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. The Regional Business Fund offers low-interest loans to businesses that provide an economic benefit to the region. Again, we have that 7-county region that you see there in the green. The Regional Business Loan Funds are flexible and can be used for a variety of business financing needs. The listed programs did not compete with traditional financials, banks or credit unions. Rather, they can provide an additional source of funding when needed. So you can contact us, look at our website, look at the brochure that was in your packets for full details of all of the programs. Since inception, the Regional Business Fund, can you go back one? Thank you. We have assisted over 150 businesses, including 85 startups with almost $7 million in financing here in Barron County. The businesses have projected to create or retain 1,213 jobs in the county. Some of the things that we've recently assisted with are Baker's Bites in Barron, Full Throttle Sports in Rice Lake, Keel Insulation in Barron, C&M Specialties in Chetek, B&B Disposal in Cameron, and CDMLA Homes in Turtle Lake, amongst others that are listed in your packets. The one that we're going to highlight is Sunshine Community Fitness Center, LLC. So Alyssa Coomer is the sole owner and manager of Sunshine Community Fitness Center, which has 8 locations. She recently expanded to Cameron and purchased the commercial building located at 907 West Main Street. The building used to be a furniture store. So along with bank financing, the Regional Business Fund assisted her with a $64,000 revolving loan fund to do renovations and purchase equipment for the new location. She also utilized a facade loan at 1% to fund the exterior renovations, and then that's the before and after pictures that you can see there of her new location. So that's a good example of what we do and how people can utilize our funds. I'd like to recognize all the people who make the Regional Business Fund run in Barron County, including the RBF board member, Stacy Newman, and then all the other Barron County Loan Committee members. They are Tim Gerber, Bruce Markgren, Jim Metcalf, Stacy Newman, Rod Norby, Adam Skinner, and Lori Tarman. And then a big thank you goes out to Dave Armstrong with the Barron County EDC. He also acts like our boots on the ground. He lets everyone know about us and sends referrals to our way all the time. So thanks for having us this evening. Scott and I are available to, answer questions that you may have.
Does anybody have any questions for Scott and Amanda? As you can see, they work well with a lot of the bankers and Dave Armstrong in our area, and it's a well-coordinated machine. It's helped a lot of businesses in Barron County. Anybody have any questions? Supervisor Banks.
You mentioned the railroad issue earlier. There any connection between the rail coming from Chippewa up to Cameron and connecting further on up, maybe to the Sioux line or wherever it could go north of there?
It's a great question. I know Wisconsin DOT just put out a new updated regional rail plan kind of for the entire state, and that has to do with not just passenger rail, but freight. So that just came out about a week or two ago. I have not looked through that yet to see how those connections would be made. But yeah, it did highlight, I know, kind of the passenger rail concept, and the plans are highlighting all the individual communities that are within kind of that I-94 corridor. So, but actual connections beyond kind of coming along I-94 north and south haven't really been identified yet. But we're kind of following DOT's lead a little bit right now. And again, we're simply participating in that conversation. But that's a good question that I can certainly pass back to that rail coalition. They meet about quarterly. And I can also share kind of where their website is too. I should have put that on here because you were not the first person to ask that kind of question. So, but yeah, there's more information. It was Wisconsin Rail Coalition online, and you can kind of see what their meetings are about and what they talk about there. But I'll pass that one along.
Supervisor Cook.
So for the startup businesses, we have what's called a micro loan, and for those, they are required to submit a business plan and projections. A lot of times they work with the Small Business Development Center to get those and work through their startup process. So I think that's kind of the educational piece that most business owners go through. And then the default rate overall, I don't know what just the startup is, but I think the default rate on all of our loans is under 2%. So
It's unbelievable because they're at the bottom of the totem pole. Supervisor Patty Anderson.
I just have a question. The volunteer fire department in Hagen was seeking to find somehow help with having a generator put in so they could be an emergency shelter. Right now the church is, but if the power goes out, then there's no heat. And somewhere in this you mentioned FEMA. So is that something that could help them?
Yeah, great question. Yes, it's something that I think could be applicable, so to speak. Happy to talk with somebody at the village there and see if that could be a possibility. That's there are certain funds that are more competitive in terms of specific deadlines, but the one that we helped with the village of Almena apply for is kind of a ongoing process. So that's something we can talk with them at any time.
And what's good about them, that when we did our one down in Chautauqua, the shelter, it was just a shelter, and that was the rules. That's all you could do. Now they've changed the rules. They can be a community event center as well. So Almena's doing that, and I think Hagen would benefit from something like that too.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? Supervisor Turcott.
Just a quick question on what is the process to get started with you, and who is the contact? Is it
for the loans,
for a loan or?
so that's would be me for Barron County, and all of our loan offerings are listed at our website, and I can share that with everyone. But all of the loan options are listed on the website. You can apply there, you can pay there. Otherwise, you can contact our office just to ask questions to see if you're at the point where you'd want to apply with us, because there's some things that you kind of have to do before that sometimes. My card is in all of the packets as well with our
And Dave Armstrong knows all about all these programs too, so. Any further questions? Seeing none, thanks a lot, Scott and Amanda, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 8, the progress update on our highway facilities. Mac, are you taking that? I'll let you know this guy's doing a great job, besides doing his own other work.
Well, it's a handful, but I gotta say, the first week we didn't crash and burn, and we made a lot of heads turn, and a lot of good things happened in the first week. And looking forward, I think this thing's gonna all come together and happen sooner than we think. So we're Barron County strong. We're gonna get through this. Where we're at with the facility right now, I believe the roof on UH2 will be done later part of this week. Electricians are working out there, the plumbers are working, the sprinkler guys are working. There's crews of everything happening. I'd say we're less than 10% from being complete on most of the project, so.
Anybody have any questions for Mac? Bill?
NEI doesn't, they just have a substation right there they work out of for Genio. But you might have seen me out there fixing the second driveway. I took the curbing and the portion out that was left to remove for Erickson's. I took that and removed that today and put some recycled blacktop material in there so we can utilize both driveways, so.
We're trying to work with the curb and just kind of rehab what we've got now, because we got some bids to redo the curb like we wanted to, and they're astronomical. It's the end of the season, and so we're going to wait till next year and do that. Supervisor Moen.
Yes, I'm just wondering if you've scheduled an open house for the highway building.
I think Louis is in charge of that, Louis and Jeff.
Not yet. No, we have not. Any further questions for Mac? Thanks again, Mac. Keep up the good work.
No problem.
Okay, item number 8, the financial, or number 9, financial update on the highway facilities project. I believe that's Jody.
Okay, we will take a look at financials through the end of July. Expenditures were $1,818,574. Since the beginning of the year, we have transferred in from the highway fund, from that 4.6 million, 685,748. And so fund balances at the end of July were 3,165,711. And so that is the remainder of the 4.6 for funding. So we've spent a little over 1.4 million. This month so far, we've expended another $783,000. So today, where we're standing, we're right at about 2.4 million as far as that 4.6 pot of money. And currently, we're right about 1.5 million in contracts to still be paid out. Is there any questions?
Supervisor Cook?
So I ask this question every month as we look down the road. Is 4.6 covering it?
No. I mean, we are, I know we're going to exceed that at some point down the line, but again, we're going to be coming to you, the full board, to authorize anything over that.
Okay, so the 1.5, what would be in addition to the 1.5 that Jody's just talking about?
Mostly Barron County stuff, you know, paving would be obviously the biggest one.
There's still IT to finish up on some of those projects.
But we'll be talking about that a little later in the
Yep.
agenda here.
Yeah, but that's not including the.
Oh, it isn't?
No,
Okay.
No, so, but yeah, it's mostly Barron County things that, you know, we would have some control over.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? Okay, if not, well, Jody's doing double work. She's not only trying to get our current budget out for next year, but she's dealing with all this, and it's, believe me, it's quite a job. Okay, item number 10, zoning ordinance amendment, rezoning the town of Crystal Lake, Jeffrey A. Zappa. Can I get a motion to approve that? Motion by Supervisor Rogers, second by Supervisor Cook. Does anybody have any concerns? If not, let's vote. Okay, it passed 28 yes, 1 absent. Thank you. Item number 11, the zoning ordinance amendment, rezoning town of Stanfold, Cody B. Frankhauser and E. Pat and D8 Frankhauser. I get a motion by Supervisor Gores, seconded by Supervisor Langman. Any questions or concerns on that rezoning? Seeing none, let's vote. Again, that passed 28 yes, 1 absent. Thanks. Item number 12, zoning ordinance amendment, rezoning, town of Stanfold, North Swiss Properties LLC, Matt Schultz as agent. Motion by Supervisor Olson, seconded by Supervisor Turcott. Any concerns? Seeing none, let's vote. Again, 28 yes, 1 absent. Items passed. Item number 13, zoning ordinance amendment, rezoning town of Stanley, Christian and Bridget Schneider. Motion by Supervisor Cook, seconded by Supervisor Heller. Again, is there any questions or concerns? Not, let's vote. (28) yes, 1 absent, so that passes. Item number 14, zoning ordinance amendment, rezoning town of Prairie Lake, Daniel and Joanne Brinkman, Owen Brinkman as agent. Motion by Supervisor Mosenteen, seconded by Supervisor Thompson. He got in. Good job, Punky. Any concerns? Not, let's vote.
I'm gonna vote no.
28 yes, 1 absent. Thank you. That motion's carried. Item number 15, a resolution authorizing Barron County to adopt and implement a FICA alternative plan and trust agreement for part-time employees and part-time elected employees, which will include all of the part-time supervisors. Can I get a motion to approve that? Motion by Supervisor Mosenteen, seconded by Supervisor Eineke. Does anybody have any questions on that? Jeff had a lot of information in our packet. Seeing no concerns, let's vote. (28) yes, 1 absent, so that motion's carried, resolution's passed. Item number 16, this one will take a 2/3 vote, 20 members. A resolution authorizing information technology upgrades, and that Jeff had quite a bit of information in the packet as well. That's where basically we're having the IT structure and setup move from the Justice Center where it's susceptible to water, which we made it through all these years until about a month ago it hit and it shut us down for a while. So it's real timely that we're moving it to where we are. And I believe we're asking not to exceed $90,000, and it'll come out of an unassigned fund balance. It will not come out of the highway balance or the highway budget. Because it affects the whole. Right.
It's just located there.
Motion by Supervisor Banks, seconded by Supervisor Bob Anderson. Question by Supervisor Heller.
when that's put in, it's going to have fiber run to it and have redundant fibers, so there'll be a backup as well, correct?
Oh, let's have Lance explain that.
Yep.
The fiber will be coming in there, but we don't have redundant fiber back to the internet, so to speak, from there. But that is a part of the long-term plan of getting that room in place, was to be able to get redundant fiber into that place.
So it is part of the long-term plan then?
Yeah, but it's not there
Yeah,
as of when this will be
okay,
completed.
thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, let's vote. Twenty-eight yes, one absent. So that resolution carries. Thank you. Item number 17, the ordinance, highway facilities and grounds public access. Motion by Supervisor Gore, seconded by Supervisor Wenzel. That, basically, that's for your, what do they call it, first-time auditors or? First Amendment auditors, people coming in and wanting to roam around our properties, and this solidifies or fortifies or doesn't get people, the public, to come in there and go where they shouldn't be going. So that you need this ordinance, and then they have to, okay, go ahead, John.
It's also for safety concerns. We're talking about the highway facility. We've got big trucks rolling around. We've got mechanics areas. We don't want people just walking in, wandering around, and getting hurt. We've got a lot of valuable items out there. So this just not only keeps the actual office building, there's a public side and there's a private side, much like this building, much like the Justice Center, but also like the Justice Center, you can't be driving around behind the Justice Center. There's safety issues related. That's where law enforcement comes and goes. That's where prisoners come and go. That's where, jurors may come and go, and staff. So it's the same thing that we did with the Justice Center a couple years back.
Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, let's vote. Again, 28 yes, one absent, so that ordinance passed. Item number 18, an ordinance amending the Barron County Rules and Procedures, and this is the second reading. Can I get a motion to approve that? There's no motion on this one? It's a second reading, isn't it?
I thought we had
No.
a motion at the last meeting.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, I think we did. No, you're right, we did
It's because
not.
we had to wait for the second
We
reading.
had to read for a second reading, that's right. I'm wrong. I told you wrong. Sorry about that.
So moved.
Well, we got to do it electronically.
Move to approve.
Oh, it's not working? Okay. Oh, maybe it won't go. It's working. Boy, we're good. You're good. Motion by Supervisor Cook, seconded by Supervisor Bob Anderson. Motion or a question by Supervisor Efforts.
Could someone explain it to all of us what the change is and why it's being changed?
Sure. There was the way the rules are written right now, it indicates that the chair or the vice chairs can sit in on any committee in order to constitute a quorum. So if you've got a 5-member committee and there's only 2, they can call one of the chairs to come in. That was allowed for the chairs or the vice chairs to do the zoning board of adjustment and the zoning committee to even more than a quorum, because they want to have a full body when they're voting on some of those issues. But it didn't apply to any of the other committees. So
It did in the rules and procedures, but in practice, it had been done that way since I've been here.
So what the rule is to add that even if you do have a quorum on a committee, that a chair or vice chair can fill in for a absent member and serve as a voting member. So it's just to fill out the committees. So if you're not making decisions with 3 members out of a 5-member or larger.
Supervisor Vaughn.
I just don't see that this change is needed. Leadership has already got the ability to fill in when they're needed for a quorum. So my question is, will this become common practice moving forward? Can we expect to see all those absences filled in? Or is it something to have on the books in case there's another situation like we had in Health and Human Services this spring?
Well, I can tell you tonight, I guess the Health and Human Services meeting for next Monday, August 28th.
Wednesday the 30th.
Okay, but it was scheduled, but for the 28th, it was moved to August 30th. Supervisor Patty Anderson came up to me and indicated she will not be able to be there. She asked that I be there at the Health and Human Services meeting on Wednesday. Now, I'm sure well, I'm not sure, but I doubt it's for a quorum. It's just I'll be there and it's sitting in for her. So that means I will be able to vote, assuming this passes, correct. Supervisor Krug.
Is there any reason that anyone else from the county board can't fill that spot?
Can you answer that, Jeff?
We have it in our rules and procedures that allows Supervisor Gary Nelson and Roberta Mosentine to fill in for others committees because they live close. We did that a few years ago, if I remember correctly, John, and that's in the rules and procedure. I just don't know where it is.
It's in there. There's 3 of them, actually, I think.
Right, but we're doing this at the request of, this change came at the request from members of this board to change this, to clarify this. It's been practice. This is clarifying practice, putting into our rules and procedure what's been happening in practice for all the years I've been here.
Thank you.
Okay, Supervisor Newman.
If I could say, on the regional planning committee as well as the loan panel, when there's 7 of us coming from 7 different counties and we have these loan requests, there are times when we don't have a quorum and we have to reschedule. And when you're trying to get that many people from that far away, say if I would have a family emergency and I could say, hey, Louis, can you help me out here? I mean, that would affect 7 different counties, bankers, what have you, and their schedules. So this is something that I think would really come in handy, especially with what I'm serving on, to keep things rolling, keep things getting done in a short amount of time.
But it's already allowed for needing for a quorum. It's already in the rules.
Yes, it is for quorum, it is, but that was the practice. That's why when the specific instance, I think it was Health and Human Services that I came into, and because it wasn't for a quorum, it was to fill in as a voting member, and I did fill in and voted on that, but that had been the practice. Well, like Jeff said, as long as he's been here, as long as I've been here. So we just wanted to, I guess, codify what we've been doing in the past. Any further questions or comments? Not, let's vote. Okay, 25 yes, 3 no, 1 absent.
Voting no was Efforts, Langman, and Vaughn.
Okay, so that ordinance amendment carried. Thank you. Item number 19, American Rescue ARPA expenditures. I know Jody's got a list in our packet. Does anybody have any questions on those? We don't need any motion or anything. Supervisor Taxtell.
Yeah, I was wondering why we have to take that 90,000 out of the unassigned fund balance. Could we take it out of this pot of money? I mean, we've taken money for IT equipment out of here before.
But we have pretty much all of our ARPA monies. That's a great question. I'd like to say yes, but we have pretty much all of the ARPA money would be spoken for if the low-income housing credits come through for the housing authority for the 72 apartments. We would need all of it, all of the ARPA money that's left.
What is the status of that?
Well, Louis or Gary should be able to ask that. I think we're supposed to know sometime soon if we're going to get the state low-income housing tax credits. Otherwise, I would say.
Gary's the chairman. Do you want to answer that, Gary?
So our executive director, Meg, was
visiting with the executive committee last month and gave an update, and we're at the place where we're about to finish some of the necessary legwork in order to get HUD's letter of acceptance. So we're getting pretty close, and we're thinking that everything's going to go well and that we'll be doing our rehab next spring beginning. So we should know something within 90 days.
There's been a lot of delays, for floodplain, and, you start doing title work and now solar grants we may be able to obtain. So there's just a lot of paperwork, and the wheels of government go slow.
Also, if we have any money left over on this, I'd like to not put any more towards the housing authority. I'd like to put that money towards heating, ventilating, and air conditioning up at the campus, because their original quotes have come in pretty reasonable to fix everything up there and get it right. So that'd be another reason.
You surprised me on that when you said that.
Well, it's Steve Olson was quite surprised at the engineering drawings that things would come in.
Okay, Supervisor Cook.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier in terms of the kitchen, you've got some issues that you guys are going to meet on. That would also come out of this, or is that what do we have scheduled?
We got 2,347,000 right now.
So that would be covered in that, or would that come out of this 1 million?
It's covered. Everything for the aging kitchen should be covered with ARPA money, including the $382,000 that we have for contingency.
Okay.
It's going pretty well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going very well. We're only about a week behind schedule, which is why I want to meet right away to get this flooring thing ironed out, or we're going to end up 3 weeks behind schedule.
No, and the only reason I ask is if we were going to go into that 1,036,000 or not.
I'd like to sit on that for the campus, because the problem with the campus, folks, is nothing breaks up there till it's 30 below zero. And Steve and the crew and the highway crew are out there with our big backhoe hammering through soil and cement. And so we do need to get the campus righted here at some point. And it's more than 20 years old anyway, so.
Okay. Any further questions? If not, we'll go on to item number 20, report from the county administrator.
I don't have anything if there's a question for me. The Health Joy data is in there. Tim can talk about that. The survey is up to you. I don't have any information on the survey.
Well, when do you want to discuss that? Or go?
Well, we'll put it on. Should we put it on the agenda for the September meeting to make?
Yeah, why don't we put it? Everybody's got the survey. Why don't we put it on the September meeting so we actually can decide? Do we want to go all at 9 o'clock? Do we want to go all at 5 o'clock? Do we want to go all at 7? It looks like people don't want to split it, but again, things can change. So, you kind of got to think of the employees, you got to think of the supervisors, and you got to think of the public. And when I look at the employees, this is part of their workday. If we had it at 9 o'clock, let's say I'm going, I guess, for my position, but they don't have to stay longer. They don't have to go home and come back. So, and I know there's issues about supervisors, whether they're working in that, but if they can't make a 9 o'clock board meeting, they also can't make a ton of committee meetings, which are during the day. And as far as the public, we're actually talking about that. We're actually thinking maybe when the public should really come to their own individual supervisor. And if that doesn't work, they should go to Jeff. If that doesn't work, right now it'd be the chairman, me. If they can't get satisfaction or a good answer, then I think it should come to the board. But to come to the board right away with everything, these are on specific issues, not just general comments. But anyway. So I think that if they've got an issue, they can get here. But anyway, we'll deal with that later then. So any questions on any of the reports from Jeff? Supervisor Hanson.
Do you want to take a straw vote just to see what people are thinking?
No.
You can. It's just a straw vote.
That's what the survey was for, really, Otherwise, because I got a feeling this is going to generate a little bit of discussion. So I'll just go. I'm going to go not do that, Vaughn.
Lloyd, just for clarification, you're not talking about getting rid of public comment?
No,
No, okay.
no. I'm thinking a lot of the issues that people have should go that path. No, I'm not talking about getting rid of, even though some counties don't, I think it's a good idea to let people talk if they want to. So, okay, no further questions. We'll go on to appointments.
I'm recommending the appointment of Michael Haves to be our next highway commissioner. He's sitting in the audience.
Mike, would you stand up and just wave at us? He's got great qualifications, and we're looking forward to having him on the team. I know he'll do a great job for us. So, welcome.
Welcome, Mike. And he's not started officially yet, and he's already coming in and doing some work. So you can't blame the guy for that. That's dedication already. So, do you want to let him say anything, or want to let him introduce himself and talk a little bit?
All
Yeah,
right,
come
go
on
ahead.
now, Mike.
I just didn't want to put him on the spot because we didn't tell him this ahead of time.
People. All right, now you can hear me.
He already needs IT coaching. There you go, Lance. There's your first thing with him.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm no stranger to standing in front of boards. So, I work currently for the Wisconsin Department of Transportation as a highway engineer. I love that role, but I could not pass up the opportunity to come here to Barron County to basically work with the best of the best from what I've been told, and I've seen it myself here over the last few weeks. So prior to DOT, I worked as the highway commissioner for Burnett County for a little over 7 years, and I really enjoyed that. I feel like that's kind of my calling, which is why I'm standing here. Prior to that, I worked for Barr Engineering Company out of the Twin Cities for a number of years, 8 years, and did a lot of work in the, the water resources, as well as heavy civil or a lot of energy sector work. And then prior to that, I did quite a bit of municipal engineering work. So city sewer, city water, curb and gutter, you name it. So I come with quite a bit of well-rounded experience, and I'm looking forward to working here and trying to better a system that's already pretty darn good. I got large shoes to fill. I guess it's kind of like Aaron Rodgers is outgoing. That would be Mark Servey, and now I'm this young kind of, taking a chance at this young Jordan Love. So all I can say is give me a chance, let me prove myself, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we've got a motion by Supervisor Gores, seconded by Supervisor Wenzel. Any concerns? Not, let's vote. $28 yes, 1 absent. So Mike, you're appointed. Thank you. Item number 22, claims, petitions, and correspondence. Don't have any. Item number 23, suggestions for future agenda items, and you've got in the packet the budget, of course. Okay. And the 2024 county board meeting dates, will that be next month as well? And is that date has changed because of WCA?
No, we changed it earlier. It's the 11th. We're meeting a week early because the
but I'm just
WCA is
off the normal.
It's off the normal. It's 11th, 7.
Okay, item number 24.
I'd like to stay in open session. I'd like to have Mike, I'd like to have Tim do the presentation as much as open session. Then when we get to the part where we're going to talk about our renewal, then close.
Okay.
Keep as much in open as we
Right,
possibly
that's
can.
good. You're up, Tim. Randy, did you have a question?
Under this new system, we cannot use the consent agenda. Can we get that fixed, or is that just gone?
I think it's gone.
Most counties who utilize the software now are preferring to have every item voted on. That goes so quickly with this software.
See, if we do consent, she can't load it in that
Right.
way. And if somebody balks at that, then we got a mess.
Just for the board members, I'll just coach you a little bit if we get too far into the weeds and stuff that would be actually where we're going to be talking about how we're going to renew. We'll just have to save those questions and go into closed session and talk to Tim on how he wants to proceed. Don't want to limit debate. We just have to be a bit careful because there's two things going on here, a report plus preparing for him to negotiate for us with our stop loss and other things.
Okay, Tim?
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We can bring up the presentation. The agenda that we have is pretty similar to what I was back here in May, I believe. So we have medical reporting. I included 2022 plan year and then 2023 year-to-date claims information and cost. I got the 2024 renewal projection with an updated month of claims. I kept the specific stop-loss deductible analysis in the packet. We've seen that before, so no update there, but just wanted to kind of talk through that again. Last meeting, we wanted to kind of hit on OptiMed and RX and Go. Those are two new programs that we put in place January of this year on the RX side or prescriptions. So we've got some savings analysis mid-year savings for those two programs. And then there was a request to have the HealthJoy data put in to this packet to review and just show how we're doing as a group, which I can say and give a preview. You guys are doing really well. I mean, of all the Horton groups, I think you have the highest activation and probably the most engaged members, which is amazing for a municipality to do that. So kudos to the group and kudos to the members for participating and really, I guess, embracing that technology. We can go to the next page. Perfect. So this is our renewal or our medical loss ratio. This is for plan year 2022. So I always focus people on the middle part on the lower end of the page, you know, in the loss ratio section. Last year we were at 108.6. So we were running a little bit of a fever, so to speak, and that allowed us, or, you know, we put in that 9% renewal for, you know, the 2023 plan year. If we switch to the next page, I've got year to date 2023. This is claims through June. In the next week or two, we should have July claims. So this will be updated yet again. So year to date, we're sitting at 97.4. We have about $234,000 of pending reimbursements. So that will get factored in the next iteration of this. So all in all, we're below budget. And when you factor in those not received reimbursements, we're looking really good. So compared to where we were last year, we're definitely, we're in a better position. Next page, please, Jody. There we go. So this is our renewal calculation. You've seen this layout before. We take 36 months of claims and we put it into 3 experience periods. Obviously, the one on the far right is going to be the earliest, and then the midpoint, and then the oldest claims experience. Line 1 is going to be group-specific claims, so those are all gross claims for the experience periods. We remove the stop-loss reimbursements, so any claim over that $50,000, Barron County gets reimbursed. So that would give you line 3. We then apply a trend factor of 8% to bring those claims forward so that we're not, healthcare inflation, and we include that so that we're not underfunding the plan year next year. So that would give you line 5. If we make any plan or network changes, we would put that in the experience period. We have not had one, so that will stay at 1.0. Line 8 is the employee months. This is the number of employees in the experience periods and the number of months. So we're trying to divide and kind of funnel it down to a per employee per month claim rate. So that will give you line 9. We then weight the periods. So the most recent we weight at 70, the mid at 20, and then the oldest period at 10. So line 11 is those weighted averages, and then line 12, when you add those together, that 1335 is a per employee per month claim rate. We then multiply that times 12, so we'll go to the next page. And that top line is that 1335 multiplied by 12 at $22.55. Anticipating about a 5% increase from Anthem or from our PBA on our administration. We then have the network access fee through Anthem at that 2% of network savings discounts. And then we had the RX admin fees at $34. We're projecting about a 15% increase on stop loss, 5% on our umbrella aggregate coverage. And then we also are estimating a 2% increase on our transplant coverage. So right now, if I look at all those and add those up, our 2024 projected total employee per plan cost would be $25,215. If we look at what the expenses would be at our current, head count, that would put us at $6,530,000. Current budget is at $6,115,000, we'll call it. So right now we're projecting about a 6.8% increase, or in dollars, $416,000. So lower than we were last year. I think last year, Jeff, we were at a 9, I want to say, off the top of my head. Yeah, 9 head, okay. So we're lower than last year. I think our claim activity is less than it was last year, and the severity is less, which is all good things.
I imagine you're going to mention what the government rates are now and what other private people are seeing.
For increases?
Yes.
Louis? Yeah, I mean, I would say fully insured last year was a rough year. We saw anywhere from 17 to 30%. And that was in all of our public sector groups and our fully insured groups. I would say for our self-funded clients, it was really in the 9 to 15 range. And then now we think we're seeing more of a 6 to 10 is what I've seen for the first 3 months of our renewal period for our public sector groups.
You have a question, Randy, or is that from before?
Any questions on the renewal projection? We'll get another month of claims here, and I think, Jeff, I come back in October, so we'll actually have 2 more months of claims to update, this projection with and come with the final recommendation. So we're kind of in the early stages. Once we get claims late this week or early next week for July, we'll send that out to the stop loss market. We've got 17, 18 markets that we go to. Kind of leads into the next page, Jody, if you can go there. That's the specific deductible analysis. And you've seen this, and there's really no change to it. But we will definitely be looking at a higher stop loss level. And, again, I'm not sure where our sweet spot's going to be, but I think 50 right now is a little low. Last year we had, I think, 29, breaches of that 50,000, which is just a little bit high. And we had talked about this with this group. You want to have that a little bit lower, at least in the underwriter's mind. And I guess my fear is that we're not going to be able to get competition at that 50,000. We get maybe 1 or 2 bidders on it. And other counties that I work with, we're getting 7 or 8 insurance companies, actively bidding for the business. So we just have more competition at a higher level. So, right now we're at 50, I think 75, 85, 100, 125 maybe is not for the upcoming year, but I think somewhere in that 75 to 100 is going to be a good sweet spot for us. It'll be lower premiums, and then we'll have to bump it up to see what it would be from a claim perspective so that we're maximizing savings.
Tim, are you comfortable where you're at, or would you like to have a closed session, kind of discuss to get some marching orders from the board, or do you want to wait till October, or where's your comfort level?
Yeah, we have a pretty good handle on it, Jeff.
Okay.
I mean, we're starting the renewal process. I don't think that is, that we're in the thralls of it right now, gathering all the data. We'll go out to our vendors. We will, do all the analysis, and then obviously Rachel and you and, our team will get together and then kind of shore everything up.
So what we do, what I think I hear you saying, Tim, is we'll leave this where it's at. You get your stuff together. We'll have this closed session in October where you'll really present the facts. Is that what you prefer?
Yeah, I'd prefer that.
Are you okay with that, Mr. Chairman?
No, heck yes.
Yeah, I think anything that I speak of right now is going to be a little bit premature. It's going to be speculation, and, we've got a good handle on the process. Let us get it out to market. Let's get the feedback from the marketplace. Let's narrow it down and come back, to this committee with, firm numbers, and we can lock everything down, much like we did last year at that time.
Okay. Any questions for Tim? Seeing none, I guess we are not going to go into closed session, so you've done an excellent job, Tim. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you, Tim, very much. Appreciate everything you've done for us.
Yeah, a couple things I would like to just kind of close with. We talked about OptiMed and RX and Go, those two programs that we put in place. And we thought we'd get some good savings from it. We just really didn't know what the adoption would be. Well, OptiMed is the company that helps us with those high-cost medications. And they source them directly from the manufacturers and, pass the savings on to, the county, but also the members, get that, at no charge to them. So, we've paid $167,000 in claims, and the total savings that we're seeing is about $84,000 for 6 months, which is pretty good. Real good. So, kudos to Rachel. I think we were just trying to communicate this to members, and it has taken off and has done really well. So your members are always really open to new ideas, and, we'll definitely engage with those programs. The second one, which was another really good program, and we tempered our expectations on savings because we really didn't know if we'd get participation. Kind of a busy chart, but if you look at the bottom, you got plan and member cost savings at that $64,000. 15,000 or 15,479 was saved by the county. So RX and Go is a company that will source generic medications directly from a facility out of Cincinnati, and they'll give us, just like cost plus saving or cost plus pricing on those drugs, and they'll ship them out. So think of it as a mail order prescription program, but really has driven savings. And where I think the real plan, where it's really helped the member is the members have saved 48,000, almost 49,000 in their cost share. So they get the medications free. The county saves money and they save money. So it really was a win-win situation, and glad to see that halfway through the year, the members are saving money and the county is saving money, and we're still, 6 months of savings yet to be had.
Anything else?
Last one is just the Health Joy. We talk about Health Joy, and that's our program. It's an app on your phone. It's also on the web, but basically it houses all of your benefits information. You have a benefits wallet. You have a concierge. They're going to help you with bill review. If you want telemedicine, it's there. It's all in the palm of your hand. Horton uses it. My family has had experience with it. It's a great program. If we look at your performance summary, you've got 94% activation. People that have went in and set up an account, which is amazing. The return on investment, we're at 528%, 82,000 in savings. Utilization, members are using it. The number of unique actions, we have over 1,000. And then the member satisfaction at 100%. So it is a really good program. I like it because you're on a high deductible health plan. You're also, in a rural area, and getting to the doctor or getting to facilities and providers is not always the easiest. And this is a 24/7 program. So I can reach out, talk to a provider, within 10 minutes and have a prescription if I need it, called in, and the whole encounter, I know my wife did it probably about 6 months ago. I think from the time she called, they called it into the pharmacy, it was 40 minutes. Now you go to urgent care or, God forbid, ER, you're probably going to come out sicker, and it's going to take a heck of a lot longer than 40 minutes, as we all know, right? Yeah, good point. So it's been a great program on that front. Again, program savings at that 82,000, and the way they break it out on how we're activating the savings. So they have medical bill review. Members can take a picture of their bill, and then Health Joy will review it, make sure everything's copacetic and that it fits with the diagnosis. If there's any charges that they dispute, they'll help you dispute those with the provider. We have MSK, which is musculoskeletal therapy. So this is virtual physical therapy, $9,400 in savings there. Members can also reach out to Health Joy if I'm having a procedure, like a colonoscopy or a surgery. They will help you pick a provider and show you the cost and the quality. So they're going to work with the members on that. If I'm on a brand drug medication and I want to see if there's a savings or alternate, I can call up or interact on the phone, on the app with, HealthJoy, and they're going to do the research and come back with suggestions on other medications and what the cost would be or cost savings would be. And then the 32,571, that is for that telemedicine. So they bump it up with, okay, were you going to go to urgent care? Would you go to ER, or would you not have gone anywhere? So they're kind of making some assumptions there. But all in all, the program is working really well. That's all I have, Louis.
All right. Any questions? So yeah, you did a great job, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be back in October.
All right. Sounds good.
Before you adjourn, I want to make sure for tomorrow's meeting for the Aging ADRC, Craig, so we got Craig, Louis, Patty, John. We've got 4. We need 1 more. Pam, you'll be there? Okay, we're covered. Thank you. We need you 5 there. We need a vote. Thank you.
Okay. By unanimous consent, we'll adjourn at 8:10. Thanks, everybody.